Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, dear viewers, Assalamu alaikum. I am your host Faisal Raza Khan and you are watching Foresight. Viewers, new coalition government is now in power, but facing lots of challenges right in the beginning, and the huge one and the chronic one is the economic condition. Pakistan is already availing the standby arrangement of IMF of at least 3 billion US dollars, and for which a review mission is expected soon in Pakistan. Pakistan is also intended to have a new arrangement, extended fund facility from IMF. It is going to be or likely to be from 6 billion US dollars to 8 billion US dollars, but it is still to be negotiated. International Monetary Fund is stressing upon enhancing tax base, ending all sorts of subsidies, also extension of the social safety net, and also the privatization of the state-owned enterprises is also on cards. When we are talking about bringing the foreign investments, it's still a huge task. Coalition government has a huge responsibility now, and this responsibility is also accepted by not only the coalition partners, but there is a strong will among all that Pakistan must have to go out of this economic crisis. Now, the main question is that how it will be done. To discuss this all, we have in our studios senior journalist Hassan Khan. He has an ample experience regarding the political economy. Most welcome to you, Hassan. Thank you very much for your presence here. And also Dr. Hasnain Javed. He is the senior economist joining us online. Most welcome to you, Dr. Sahab. My first question to you, Hassan, that there is a larger consideration that it's kind of a politicized economy, and it's considered that the politicized economies either perform badly or unable to perform or underperform. So how do you see particularly that why not we have to just get away from this politics into the economy and we consider purely the economic issues?
Thank you very much, Faisal. I think Pakistan's biggest problem is not only internal, even if you see externally too, our priorities are more political in others than economic. Sometimes we talk about Afghanistan. So, whenever there is a political issue with Afghanistan, the first reactions we have is to close the border and close all the trade and business activity. So, I think this is not a good approach to things. The same is in internal, when there is a political background. So the first casualty is the economic issues or the economic front. Look, I think this time somehow I'm pretty sure that the economic, the issue of economy, it has now taken a center stage for the first time. I mean, look at the day Prime Minister has taken oath of office. The first meeting I think he called was on economy.
Yes.
And continuously for a week he was busy with the Federal Board of Revenue, with the Economic Affairs Division, with the Ministry of Economic Affairs, with the Ministry of Finance, etc. for continuously.
So definitely among the coalition government there is a strong will to have this economic
that's why I am saying that this time the issue has taken a center stage for the first time. And another important thing, you look last 10 years, the confusion whether going to the IMF, not going to the IMF. We will commit a suicide if somebody go to the IMF, and then we commit going to the IMF.
Obviously.
And it's too much politicized is this IMF issue that it's considered to be something untouchable. But everybody has to touch it, I think, unfortunately, because our economy, we are not in a position at the moment. Foreign injections or steroids are needed for Pakistan economy. So the Prime Minister on the first day of taking his oath has announced that we will go to the IMF. So that confusion is now clear.
The clarity is there.
Another important, and I think we discussed the same issue in this program also, the SOE, state-owned enterprises.
Yes. We'll discuss it later. We'll discuss it later. Dr. Hassan Javed, what is your perspective that we are already into the standby arrangement and another review mission is expected soon. On the other hand, a new engagement Pakistan intends to with IMF related to at least from $6 billion to 8 billion US dollars under the extended fund facility. So do you think that Pakistan is all set to have that facility, or still we have to do a lot?
Thank you very much, Faisal, and always coming up with the very important issues, and economy is the biggest issue. So, very important thing is we have to separate economy from the political issues, and political issues only overcome then we just focus on economy. In the current situation, what is the government size? If I would respectfully ask you, so it is going to be the bigger than the last, isn't it? Because the most of the assistant to prime minister is going to be higher, and the same ministers in 2013, again in the 2000 in the 16 years 16 month of the government, and the same minister is going to be the on the planning division, on to the commerce, on to the other things, and same in the Punjab, and the government size is going to be the bigger and bigger. And most of them, those who are not elected members, those who are failed to elect, now is being the advisor to the prime minister or the chief ministers. So in that case, the government spending of the 22% of the total GDP is going to high. And then the public-private partnership is yet not been decided. Respected Hassan Khan just about to say that he just said that the prime minister is focusing on the economic sector. He has done so many meetings with the FBR and other. So let me tell you one thing. So we yet not get a standby agreement of 1.8 billion. 1.8 billion is yet pending, and we have to go for the 24th review, and we have not yet complete all the prerequisites of the 24th review. Now, the most important thing, do you know that what IMF says? IMF says take an amendment, do an immediate amendment in Article 84, which is giving the supplementary grants to the state-owned enterprises, one. And then the most shocking thing, and I'm going to break this news here, they are asking you to give the Federal Board of Revenue an autonomous body, an autonomous tax authority. So what does it mean? That means that they have to collect the whole of the tax from everyone. Not from the elite. So they wanted to.
There was an effort earlier on in the coalition government that FBR split it into a revenue department and then a custom one. So might be whatever would be the nomenclature, but it was very clear that they are going to split it up. So do you think that it is going to serve what is envisaged, that enhance the tax base and to have more custom regulations and custom intelligence and all that? So it is going to serve that purpose?
No, for this I need to have take you into the statistical analysis. So Pakistan tax to GDP ratio is 9.5%, is among the lowest in the world. Am I right? Yes. Then I'll come to the conclusion. Of course, I have a conclusion, because let me tell you my conclusion in first in half, that this will not work, because this whole pressure goes to the middle class and the lowest of the country. But it will not get by the 2 lakh people of the Pakistan, of the elite. So more than 8.195 million unregistered people have been issued notices for the tax year 2022 to 2023. Do you know that there is a 4,50,000 businesses are not registered? Only 35,000 businesses are registered. So where is the tax net? So there is no reforms in tax net. So under the Ahmad bill in 2023, the rate of further sale tax has been increased by 1% to discourage supply made an unregistered person. If person intend to remain out of the sale tax net, he would have pay high rate of further tax at the rate of 4%. So this is the suggestion by the FBR. If it is going to the independent autonomous body, if it is going to be an independent autonomous body, who is going to run? Of course, IMF. Now, through FA into 2023, the rate of tax of the tax year 2024 onward has been increased as under. The flat increase of 2.5% in the tax rate applicable on salaried individual earning more than 2.4 million per annum with the highest slab rate of 35% starting from the 6 million per annum. Am I right? Now, major development in the tax law through the Finance Act, it is 2023 relating to the corporate sector are summarized as follow. So progressive tax rate for the super tax on a higher earning person. Now, Faisal, there is going to be the super tax. I am really, so you can push up the wealth tax. I am in the favor of wealth tax to the all of the elite class. But I'm not in the favor of super class because it hurts the large scale manufacturing. There is a complicated technical issue. So now they are going to have the super tax in a higher.
Absolutely right. Your point well taken. I'm coming back to you on tax issue as well. Hassan,
You,
as Dr. Hasnain said that it is going to be elite class all the time and not the common people and the common public. You know that right now they are sufferers because of the hyperinflation, because of the over-taxation, double taxation and indirect taxation. So how do you see that whether the coalition government would be able to take some sort of stern, tough and politically unpopular decisions, because this is the time to take all those decisions, because that is important for Pakistan's economy, for Pakistan actually?
Look, Faisal, I think what Dr. Saab has said, I think he said nothing new, and this is quite unfortunate that every expert, economic experts or the other experts, they are pointing out toward this issue, expand the tax net horizontally. Instead of we are doing it vertically, that you are taxing the taxed further. Look, today I got a electricity bill, 100% extra. Already, you know, I'm paying for 40 rupees per unit as domestic, around 40 plus per unit cost. Despite that, there are FPA, extra FPA, surcharge, extra surcharge.
You're talking about electricity bills.
Electricity, yes. Just I'm telling you, the rest are almost 100% are the, if I have a 7,000 electricity bill, I'm paying 13,050 rupees as a total. It means that what is the extra money is I am paying it for having no services at all. One, the problem in Pakistan, we are serving the elite, whether it is the military elite, whether it is the bureaucratic elite, whether it is the judicial elite, whether it is the farmer elites, whether it is the industrial elites, you name it, and it is a country, unfortunately, that we serve only for the elite. You ask, like as mentioned by Dr. Hasnain, that only few thousands business concerns are being listed.
Yes.
You just go out in various markazes in Islamabad. I'm not telling you to go to Pindi or to go to Peshawar, Lahore, other big business centers. You just go out, and this few 100,000, I think you will get that only in the Pakistan Islamabad blue area.
What would be the ultimate, what the government has to do right now?
This is the now or never.
You know that we have seen earlier hundreds of special assistants, lots of ministers and lots of minister for states. So do you think that this time the coalition government, though they have the thinking, they have the will as well, whether they curtail their government expenditures, they will limit the portfolios, and they will consider that lots of subjects are already devolved to the provinces under the 18th Amendment. So why there are lots of ministries into the center?
Look, what I'm saying it's a now or never situation. This is just like a Urdu couplet. Muft ke peete the mein aur kehte ke haan rang laegi hamari faaka masti ek din.
Yes.
So today what we are facing, I think, this is what we have done years ago. However, I think this time what I'm observing is that this time everybody has realized, whether it is the PTI, Muslim League, People's Party, whichever party is, that economy is an issue, and they have to get their minds together. They have to put their heads together, whether you name it as charter of economy, whether you name it charter of reconciliations, whatever name it, but we must have at least a 10 years or 20 years plan. Like, look, from the day first, the government has started working on privatization, privatizing the state, the loss-making state-owned entities. So I think this is a positive thing. Otherwise, a big party of coalition, this coalition government, It is against the privatizations. They have another options like the public-private partnership things they have. So I think this is the time, whether you like it or not, but the country need it. Pakistan need it. So I believe that this time, in the political leaders, definitely they would have realized that taxing people for the people are
do you think that there would be any sort of a successful privatization of state-owned enterprises?
I think that this this is the first step. You know how he will work. So definitely the way Prime Minister has taken these issues very seriously. Yesterday there was a meeting on the privatization of the PIA, and they are listing other state-owned entities to be privatized. So it means that there is no shop. They are now on the table. And I think these issues already the caretaker government has worked a lot. They have identified, and especially
they are geared up right at the start.
So I think they have just to take it from where the caretaker government has left. And already, you know, the previous finance ministers is also part of all the meetings which Prime Minister is chairing. The energy minister is part of all the meetings which the Prime Minister is chairing, I think. So it means that now, instead of further thinking, further coming up with the papers, further researching, etc., it's just take up the book, pick up the papers, and go into an implementation.
Your point well taken.
And I think this time I see there's a bit of seriousness on economic front.
Your point well taken. Dr. Hassan Javed, when we are talking about privatization, why not there are other options as well? You have, might be a government or the state-owned enterprises are not much comfortable with the privatization, but the thing is that why not some sort of the management, change of management of those organizations, restructuring of those organizations, or some sort of partnerships to be included, or investments into that by changing the management. So how do you see some other options to the privatization as well? Whether government is considering all those as well?
This could be considered, but 10 years back or 15 years back, now it is the redundant position. It is dead organization. They are all completely dead or redundant organization. You can't do anything. Go to Pakistan Industrial Technical Assistance Center. I'm telling you the small institutions under the Federal Ministry of Industry. So there are 23 federal units, extended federal units. There are the Pakistan Industrial Technical Institute. They are running a computer foundation course without computers. Can you imagine? What type of red tapeism is going on? There is going to have a lathe machine project. There are going to be CAD. There is a JICA project. All has been, under the corruption. So now they are completely redundant. Their technologies are absolutely obsolete. Now we cannot do anything. We have just the space there. We have just the, you can call it a piece of land. Now what we can do is, with all these, we can do onto the public-private partnership in a reasonable way. We have to make a steering committee on that, and then we have to do the partnership over there. For example, if the Saudi want to have a steel mill over there, we can have a partnership over there. Over here in Pakistan with the tax holiday, complete tax holiday, but land is also free over there. So now what we can propose is that we have a high amount of the huge young population, but unfortunately they are not skilled. So if I have to tell a lie, then okay, I can tell a lie. But another thing, you have many coalition partners. Even all the coalition partners, they are not very much into this subject, because there are political positions over there. All political peoples are working in the state-owned enterprises. So this is why there is a 2.7 trillion of the total budget.
Dr. Hasnain, do you think that the coalition government is going to have some sort of rational thinking regarding the government expenditures to cut down all those non-productive government expenditures, number one? And the second is to end those subsidies which are actually the burden on national exchequer, and IMF is asking for that as well, like gas, electricity and all that. So how they are going to protect their voter, the consumer, because when they end the subsidies, there will be a hue and cry, and it's obvious because of the hyperinflation.
the politics and the political people and the votes are completely irrelevant. Let me tell you one thing. See, there is an increase in the gas in the last month. Mr. Hassan Khan is with you. You can check and have a double check whatever I'm saying. It was an increase of 1100%. Have you ever seen that 1100% of increase over on gas? So what now they ask, just going to increase, we are going to increase just about 480%. So not even 100%, it is 480% and 1100%. Is that the way to increase? So now I'm telling you, this is only the government size is not matter. I mean, like, for example, you have the cabinet size of the 100 people or the 84 or the 86. We need just 12 to 15 technical people, what I call technocrats. And now IMF is using their people, for example, Ms. Shamshad Akhtar, Ms. Shamshad of the what we call is the finance minister, right? So people like this and other people are extra. They are all extra. Now 84 people or the 86 people, they are of no use because only one person is needed in the technical side and all technocrats must have to come.
Dr. Hasnain, very comprehensive. Hassan Khan, when we are talking about the politics, and it is always kind of transactional and it is always kind of promising that they are having lavish promises during the electoral campaigns, and then afterwards there are lots of issues with that. So do you think that we come out of that thing and we have to go for the policy frameworks, we have to go for the robust economic development which is needed?
Look, it's quite unfortunate that we are in a vicious circle, I think. Unfortunately, yes, no doubt there are promises, but you have to pay back. This, why the cabinets are so large? Because you have to, what you call it, this is just like making them happy for giving you a support. So you will have, look at what Dr. Hasnain said, we need people who are technically sound and technically understand the issues. Like look in US, United States of America, hardly you will see that this man is a congressman and he is a minister also. This is the prerogative of the prime minister, or it shall be the prerogative of the president, that pick the best of the persons from the market to lead a certain ministry. Look, in Pakistan, after 18th Amendment, there are only 4-5 ministries with the federal government. But still you have 50 and 55 ministers for it. What Bilal Bhutto Zardari is saying, that if the devolved ministries are not, the ministers are not appointed for the devolved ministry, the federal government has nothing to do with the mines and minerals, the federal government has nothing to do with the education, the federal government has nothing to do with the agriculture, with the forest, with the tourism,
etc. Yeah, definitely we have to have some sort of a rational thinking in that perspective.
We have full-fledged ministries, and you go to the secretariat just a few meters away from here and you will find the whole of bureaucracy is working there. These subjects are the provincial subjects.
Obviously.
So neither the provincial subjects are now getting that strength and neither the federal government is leaving the space.
Thank you very much.
This is the time to focus on
Hassan, thank you very much for your presence in the studios. Unfortunately, we have very short time left really. Thank you very much for you are here. Thank you very much for your candid views as well. Dr. Hasnain, when we are talking about the sectoral performance overall and to bringing all those in the tax net, unfortunately, salaried class is double taxed, and it is again you have super taxes, you have already if you are a taxpayer you are paying taxes, then you have indirect taxes and lots of other taxes. So why the text is already taxed is again be in the tax net, and then when we are talking about the new and the fresh people, fresh taxpayers into the tax net, approximately we are receiving silence.
Now, very pertinent question. So I wanted to give you elaborate highlights of the text. And this is, of course, if somebody is listening or FBR is listening or or even the Prime Minister is listening, he must have to pay attention on this, whatever I'm saying. So the progressive tax rate of the super tax on a high earning person ranging from 1% to 10% are introduced. So now further super tax shall now be accounted for while computing a quarterly advance tax liability. Now the quarterly advance income tax shall be applicable on project to project basis on person driving income from the business by way. So construction and the disposal of residential, commercial and other building. Second is the development and the sale of the residential, commercial, and other plots. Now, reintroduction of the 10% of the final tax. This is very alarming. I mean, why I have to give if you have a 10 marla and you need another meter, you have to give the whole, amount of the of your plot and constructed building and the and of the current amount. If it is, for example, you purchase a house in somewhere back in 2000, and now its the price is about 7 crore, for example, or if it is 4 crore, you have to give the 1% of the tax for the new meter. Is that possible? I mean, seriously, very unfortunate. Now, but it is going to have.
Dr. Hasnain, now as we are waiting for the second review mission that is coming soon to Pakistan regarding the standby arrangement.
This is all the preparation.
Yeah, definitely. This is all the preparation. And what is now happening is that IMF intends to, that salaried and non-salaried class must have to be clubbed in one. And all the slabs, which were at least 7, is reduced to 4. So what would be the ultimate impact on those salaried class, non-salaried, and all other people who have very short earnings? They are facing hyperinflation. And what would be the ultimate situation in the country?
Ultimate, if it is going to happen, like for example, if the people, if still, I mean, from now onward in 2024, even nobody can think of the making a house of 10 marlas. Of course, can't. And even they wanted to have a small apartment, he can't. But now it is going to have, what is happening now is that $1 billion of the dollar is going to UAE. So now people are moving towards that to the place where there is no tax holiday, and they're going for the business. They are residing over there. You can go and check the statistical analysis. Now the people are moving from Pakistan to the other places. Now let me back to the very conceptual points so that people can understand. Now the new concept of the additional tax. Yes. Additional tax on income, profit, and gain with the cap rate of 50% in extraordinary income for the companies. Now, see, if I gain much of the price, if I give them much business, why you are capped on that 50% of extraordinary income of the companies? I mean, in specified sector, you are talking about the sectoral sector. Now, that's mean even Pakistan is on a very wrong direction. We are spending money on what? So we are putting all the investment on the casino economies, for example, housing, for example, stock. Now we are not putting our investment into the manufacturing sector. If there is no micro manufacturing, if it is
definitely
not small and medium manufacturing,
if we don't have the industry,
exactly.
don't have the products, how we are going to enhance our exports? How we'll earn the revenue for the country? This is very important. You are absolutely right.
Exactly.
Very absolutely right.
So see,
your point well taken. Viewers, we have in our studios Abbas Moosvi. He is the research scholar, and he is serving there in Pakistan Institute for Development Economics. We are fortunate that he is here in our studios. Most welcome to you, Abbas. Thank you very much. Abbas, when we are talking about, we have already discussed a lot about that. What is the condition of Pakistan's economy right now? What are the challenges actually confronting by the coalition government, and how it is going to have the standby arrangement, the last tranche, and also what would be the ultimate about the extended fund facility. So when we are talking about the successful implementation of direct taxes, unfortunately we have seen that it is not in the case of Pakistan. Lots of indirect taxes, lots of super taxes and all those, and even double taxation. We haven't seen that in across the world anywhere. So how it is happening, and how this government is going to rationalize the tax scheme overall?
No, thank you so much for having me. I don't personally believe that direct taxes are a huge issue. I think elites in Pakistan should be paying their fair share. Direct taxation should be implemented via the restructuring of the Federal Bureau of Taxation. I think we need to look at the incentive structures around which our key institutions are based. We need to implement key performance indicators of staff, of personnel within these institutions, and we need to have a robust system that everybody can look at, and there's a transparency about how you can climb the hierarchies and the targets that you have to meet in order to do that. We have to move away from this approach that is based on tinkering at the margins, and we look at institutional arrangements, and I think that is the way forward. Yeah.
So, do you think that we have to bifurcate small and medium farmer, the retailer, along with that the salaried person and other classes as well, and also tax the non-taxed like agriculture sector? We have real estate, as rightly mentioned by Dr. Hasnain as well, wholesale, retail, and curb the under-invoicing through which lots of money, easy money is actually people are making. They are milking money actually.
Right.
So, how do you see that perspective?
I think we need to definitely bring as many sectors of the economy as possible within the tax net, and I think we need to have a robust system where people are paying their fair share based on a progressive taxation system. So if it is a business or if it is a firm, depending on the amount of revenues that they are generating, they should be taxed based on that. Land tax is a very important thing, but alongside that, we also need land redistribution, land reform. The way our current system is based on a colonial model. I believe 5% of farmers own 65% of the farmland, and a lot of this farmland is lying dormant. We need to move towards a system where we can redistribute this land, and that is going to serve multiple purposes. Number one is going to serve to correct our governance arrangements, the system of electables that we have in place. We need to correct that, and that is done through land redistribution. But on the other hand, land redistribution, as we've seen in multiple countries across the world, including China, Taiwan, Japan, and so on, functions to boost agricultural productivity. You have more inputs for the manufacturing sector. When you have more inputs for the manufacturing sector, you boost output.
You were talking about agriculture output and particularly the manufacturing sector and all. It is important to enhance exports and ultimately earn the precious foreign exchange for Pakistan.
Yes, for sure.
When you're talking about that, do you not think that we have to grow enough so that we can feed our population?
Yes.
We produce more and manufacture abundant. That's why we can enhance our exports. But the thing is that we are continuously lagging on these aspects, and we are continually importing food items. Along with that, the oil and gas. We are fueling our kitchens because of the imports we have, and that is abundant. That is billions and billions of dollars we are actually throwing away. So how do you see that? How can we cut our import bill?
So Faisal, I think as a country we need to take a couple of very important decisions at a national level. First of all, we need to decide whether or not we are a democracy. Secondly, we need to decide if we are a sovereign nation. And if we are, then we need to move towards regaining a sense of autonomy over our policies, whether that is foreign or domestic, whether that is economic or in terms of our governance affairs. That is a very important point here, because one of the key reasons for why we are dependent upon excessive levels of oil and gas imports is because we don't produce that internally. However, we had various initiatives that were taken to address this problem, including the Tapi corridor. For those of your viewers who are familiar with this, the Turkmenistan, Afghanistan.
Yes. The CASA 1000. Along with that, we have IP gas pipeline Iran,
exactly.
Pakistan.
And the reason for why that was discontinued was because it was against the geopolitical interests of the United States. We need to decide whether we are a sovereign nation or not. And if we are, we need to establish various directions in terms of our policy that are going to serve us well, that are going to drive down our import bill. We need to explore other sources besides the Gulf countries. When we are seeking out sources for our oil, we need to explore Russia, for instance, can be a very lucrative option for us.
Definitely. Pakistan has already having talks, and we have some of the consignments related to that as well. Your point well taken. Dr. Hasnain, Javed, when we are talking about, you have rightly mentioned about the youth bulge in Pakistan, but unfortunately very few attention on that aspect. Why not we are focusing upon those sectors which are performing or highly performing? We seek investments into that, we develop those sectors so that we can directly be on the road to development, at least if we are not on economic prosperity, but at least on the road to development. And why not to encourage young entrepreneurs to have more businesses so that Pakistan flourish into the business sector, into the exports, rather imports, and that will at least curtail or cut down some of the government expenditures as well into the services, into the different pensions and salaries and all that.
As far as entrepreneurial class cannot develop in that area, in that economic environment, because it's 67% to 87% of the government footprint and SROs there. So every time you have to take a permission. So if you won't need to take that much of the permission, and you cannot establish any business, and it is a big hurdle between, in the middle of course, foreign direct investment everywhere. Now, the second important part is you're talking about the deal with the Russia. We have taken 100,000 of the barrel, crude oil from the Russia. It is of no use. Do you know that? I mean, we don't have the refineries to refine that oil and to use it over here, and we have sent that 50% of the crude oil to the other countries, and there is no, audit on that. So we have to put up a question on that. Now, my respected fellow is still using the word need. So I just wanted to tell you there are three types of the change. One is a proactive change, second is urgency to change, need of change, and third is the urgency to change. We are in the worst of the worst condition. We are under the urgency to change. Now, all the things what he is academically telling, it has already been happened. I mean, anybody or any participant can't say that we need to do this has already been happened, and we are being gone. So now the very important thing is, we have, as I'm telling you, the new concept, the additional tax in the income profit, it has been done, it has been accepted, it is going to on. Now the 100% on the tax on the gas is been implemented.
You are absolutely right, and thank you very much. Thank you very much for your valuable suggestions. Because unfortunately we have very run short of time. But it was really a candid discussion, and I want to continue it, but unfortunately we have the time bargain. So thank you very much. So nice of you for your presence online. Thank you very much for your elaborations. Thank you. When we are talking about Abbas on these aspects, particularly foreign direct investment, that is pivot to change, pivot to have economic prosperity. But unfortunately, despite of lots of efforts, we are not still successful in bringing foreign investment. So do you think that we have the sector-specific policy frameworks are available to bring that investment, to protect those investors, to facilitate them particularly? If those are there, why we are not attracting that investment into the country?
Okay, so I have a couple of points on this. First of all, we have seen a lot of foreign direct investment coming in through the various government administrations that we've had. It doesn't seem to be the case that these are serving a very useful function. Of course, they're important, but they cannot be relied upon as a first priority in order to foster economic growth. Secondly, foreign direct investment is heavily contingent upon the level of stability that you have as a country within your internal affairs. The system in Pakistan currently does not allow for that. Our governance affairs are structured so that they are in line with the interests of a few power centers, which include the security apparatus, big landlords, industrial rent seekers, international financial institutions, and so on and so forth. Our ruling elite are responsive to the needs and desires of these groups of people instead of the ordinary citizenry. In order to move away from this and in order to promote a culture of democracy, we need to move towards things like devolution of power. We need to have, within corporations, we need to have trade unions, within universities, we need to have student unions, within rural communities, we need to have farmers associations. We need to have an open culture where we are able to debate ideas freely. We need to foster arts and culture activities and so on and so forth. Ideas are what drive economic growth and historical progress. And these are the things that we have to prioritize.
And when we are talking about other countries, and why Pakistan is lagging behind in offering competitive facilities to the foreign investors, even the local investors, to invest here, to start businesses and to flourish. Why we are lagging behind on that aspect? Really?
Like I said, it's primarily because of the lack of stability, the lack of political stability, the lack of economic stability, and so on and so forth. I think we need to move towards a direction where we're thinking in terms of a systems analysis, in terms of an institutional arrangements analysis, rather than a tinkering at the margins approach where we're moving the interest rate around or trying to control the rate of inflation and so on. All of those things are important, but we need to...
And might be the policy rate as well, because that is 22%, and this is very high for the investors to seek loans and all that, really. Thank you very much for your presence in the studios. Thank you very much for your candid views. So nice of you, Abbas. Viewers, as you have just listened to our panelists, and this is obvious that if we intend to develop, although the coalition government is having a will, they have started their working on recovery of economy, but the thing is that all the coalition partners must have to stand with the government shoulder to shoulder. Along with that, all of the political parties must have to think that this is the question of Pakistan. If Pakistan will be developed, will be prosperous and economically stable, the whole of the world will bring all those investments which are direly needed to Pakistan. But unfortunately, if any of one of the aspect is missing, it is going to be a very difficult situation for Pakistan, through which right now Pakistan is going through. The standby arrangement of the IMF is going through, and Pakistan is waiting for the next second review, and the IMF team, which is going to be visiting soon to Pakistan in Islamabad, as well as when we are talking about extended fund facility from IMF, government is gearing up for that, preparing for that. But we have to think about that if the direly needed subsidies which are already going to be removed or ended, it is going to be a hyperinflation situation, and that is going to cost the people of Pakistan particularly. But the government has to think rational on that, and particularly the taxation. The tax net must have to be enhanced, and the new sectors and new taxpayers must have to be bring in. That is going to be a clear change and putting Pakistan at the path of recovery and development. This is all from today's Foresight. It's time to sign off. Allah Hafiz.